Are you an engineer who dreams of working for a company like Tesla? Well, in this video interview, we explore exactly what it takes to achieve that. Hey 1% Nation, I'm Jake Voorhees, and you are watching episode 34 of the 1% Engineer Show, where we empower young engineers to rise to the top 1% of their career. You already heard it. Today on the show, we have an electrical engineering student from UC Santa Cruz who already has a job at Tesla. John Lupu is going to tell us exactly how he achieved that, what he's doing in school, and how he plans to rise to the ranks and continue with Tesla. If you're a young engineer, make sure you subscribe because I release videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and people who comment within 24 hours are eligible for the 1% Engineer Kit. Enjoy! Hey 1% Nation, today's featured guest on the show is John Lupu. John is in the middle of his electrical engineering career at UC Santa Cruz. We have another California engineer on the show. So hats off to you, West Coast, killing it right now. He right now is working at Tesla, and we're going to talk all about that today. It's one of the reasons why I was really excited to have him on the show. And he is involved with a handful of other things outside of his engineering career, which we're going to be talking about today. So John, say hello to 1% Nation and maybe fill in a couple of those gaps from the intro and talk about some of the stuff that you do outside of engineering.
Yeah, sure. So, hello 1% Nation. My name's John. I'm a third-year UCSC electrical engineering major. Well, before I get started, I'd like to thank you guys for, you guys are great, and thanks for having me again, Jake. And so basically all my life, I've really been passionate about making a difference in people's lives, which is why I chose the engineering route. I grew up in an engineering family. True passions really lie in probably interplanetary travel. So engineering, like maybe it's like spacecraft and stuff. Hence, huge Elon Musk fan. Like, you don't even get me started on that guy. I will go on and on about him.
Yeah, he's like my biggest hero too, man.
Oh yeah, he's so inspirational, and he's a good boss. You know, he's always very compassionate. Anyways, just to name a couple of things outside of engineering, been a competitive swimmer for about 10 years of my life. So about half my life I've been in the pool, just grinding about every day. I think it's a great outlet for the stress I get, especially through high school and now. Hobbies, like I'm a huge car person. I love cars. I love going to car shows. I used to draw them when I was a kid. I still do sometimes whenever I'm like bored or anything. Just meeting people at these car shows is great. I travel a lot, especially Europe. Loved France and Germany. And finally, like sports-wise, I love basketball. I'll play with my friends all the time. I'll keep up with NBA as much as I can, and yeah, those are like my three main hobbies outside of engineering.
What's the best place you've ever traveled to?
Definitely Paris.
Paris?
Yeah.
Good
I went
stuff,
last summer. Magic. It was the nightlife there is crazy. Like it will be 4 a.m. and it will be like 8 p.m. here. It will be just like lively. It's crazy.
Don't stop, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the car hobby is pretty synonymous with engineering. A lot of engineers I see out there, gearheads, and then there's a lot of engineering YouTube channels that are like just dedicated to car stuff. So that's pretty cool. Okay, John. Well, great. I really appreciate all that extra background. So let's get into question 2. So I'm really happy that you led with some passionate little tidbits about you and your interest in cars, and clearly you're an electrical engineer. You said that it's one of the things that UC Santa Cruz is pretty strong about. So can you tell us, how did you know along your progression to where you are today? How did you know electrical engineering was for you? How did you know that you were passionate about that? Maybe tell 1% Nation how you found that within yourself to choose that and just know that it was the right fit for you.
Yeah, so in high school, basically, I loved, I spent a lot of time, especially around my dad, especially, he would just fix things around the house. So I got a bit of how he thought to fix things. And in my senior year, I picked up my first Arduino board, and I toyed with that for a little bit. And in my free time, whenever I wasn't, doing school volunteer work or like swimming or something like that, and I built a couple things. Like I built I built a little nightlight sensor, like very basic stuff, like in a traffic light. I just loved it. So, and then I came to UCSC. Believe it or not, originally a physics major. I didn't come in EE. But then I like it's kind of impractical to have a physics BS because I knew I
Yeah.
wanted to build stuff, and that's when I switched to E because I thought of like, oh, I loved playing with my Arduino when I was little, when I was in high school. So yeah, I do believe true passion still lies in the aerospace field, and that's why I want to get my MS eventually
Nice.
in AE, probably in propulsion concentration. So, I guess any advice to anybody who's kind of trying to search, I guess just search what interests you and try new things. I never thought I'd pick up an Arduino board unless, I'm just going to try something new, program, do something, because maybe you'll discover something you love, and some fields aren't for everyone. And you have to in order to love something, you have to be thinking about it even when you're not working. I think that's very
Yeah, totally. I've heard quite a few people say, "I love that, John. Thanks."
hmm
It segues right into one thing I hear a lot of people say, where it's no longer a work-life balance; it's work-life integration, and you really just
Yeah,
encapsulated it well. Where you're excited about your career and your job and things that you're working on, even when you're not even there, right? So it's kind of like bringing what you love into your work. So happy that you
yeah,
found that click. And what's good for you too is that electrical engineering has such a nice crossover with aerospace, right?
yeah,
We just had Aaron Shepard on the show, and he's an electrical engineer, and he had a non-electrical engineering background as well, and he's getting his master's in that, and he wants to be an astronaut. He wants to be an aerospace engineer. So you guys are probably on similar paths. Get you two to chat a little bit more.
hmm
But I am so. You mentioned how you adore Elon, and he's my biggest role model in the engineering world, and maybe even outside of it. And just what he's doing, along with Tesla stuff, like SpaceX is such a game changer company. So I think you're on the right track, man.
yeah.
Okay, it's good stuff. So glad to hear a little bit more of how you came to find that passion, how you came to find electrical, and then kind of know that the gateway into aerospace is your future. So besides electrical engineering being strong at UC Santa Cruz, maybe you can give a little bit more, some tidbits to 1% Nation about what were your considerations when you chose a school. Maybe it had to do with physics stuff. I don't know. You can fill
Yep.
us in. But how did you choose a school that was the best fit for you?
Right. You're absolutely right with the physics stuff. It's actually, I think we're 30th in the nation for physics and astrophysics, that was pretty cool going in. But honestly, I wanted to stay in California. Tuition is high everywhere else, and I didn't want to be paying loans, and I won't be doing that. I'm so grateful for that. Um, and I did want to swim in college too, intercollegiately, and this is the only school in California where I could have gone. I could have gone to Santa Barbara. I did get in there, but I would not have been able to swim there. So I kind of used that passion to help me. And I think it worked in the end out. And then finally, I guess the Silicon Valley proximity is just right over the hill. It's like a 30-minute drive. I actually go in the valley quite frequently. It's a very nice place right there, and there's a lot of job opportunities. So those are the three main points why I chose UCSC.
Good stuff. Yeah, and playing right off that, John, I'm really happy you talked about Silicon Valley proximity because I wasn't sure how close it was. So I had some friends who went to Davis, and my buddy, I'm so thrilled. He just took a postdoc position at Stanford, which is right there in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear, is that one of your goals and aspirations maybe to, if SpaceX doesn't work out or if you can start working with a smaller startup in that space exploration field? Is that a goal of yours? Would you love to do that?
Yeah, I absolutely dig the startup culture. Because I don't know, my thought of being in I respect Boeing, I respect Lockheed and NASA, but I feel like working there just 9 to 5, 40 hours a week is very dead end, and it's not something I would want to. I'm not making not enough of a difference. So definitely space exploration. It's funny because a lot of space startups end up in Los Angeles because that's the aerospace hub right there. One field I do particularly would love to delve into is the idea of a supersonic electric jet. I feel like that's a really good way of like new transportation because we have electric cars, we have like rockets. They can't go electric because they just wouldn't work. And
Yeah.
I think electric jets are a new way to just fast transportation.
It's good
So
stuff.
if space exploration doesn't work out, then that will be my next, or maybe who knows where life will take me. But I definitely wanted to touch on that.
Yeah. Dude, with the advent of 3D printing, there are so many small companies who are doing space stuff, so many companies who are doing high altitude drones, so many companies doing small satellites. Like, there are endless opportunities in aerospace right now. So you're going to find it, you're going to make it work. You're going to
Yeah,
follow that dream. I know it's going to work out for you. It's good stuff, John. I know that there's a bunch of electrical and aerospace, and there's a whole bunch of aerospace people on Instagram that really impressed me. I know they can all learn from this. So, John, we're gonna get to something that I'm so excited to ask you about. Ever since you announced that you landed this role at Tesla, which was what, a month ago, something like
yeah.
this.
June, yeah.
June, yeah. And again, congrats on that.
Yeah, thank
But
you.
we talked about this offline just really quickly. But I would love to hear myself personally, because I would just love to work at Tesla as well.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, 1% Nation is going to learn a lot from this. But tell us, John, about how you got connected to Tesla, and once you give that initial story about how you landed and how you're on the inside now, love to hear about how that's going and things like that. But firstly, how is it that you have managed to get connected to this awesome multinational stage company, and here you are.
Yeah. So it was actually a little anticlimactic. Basically, an old teammate of mine who graduated this past June, he landed a sales position there, and from there he was able to network me into what I'm doing right now, which is basically I'm working with customers who are interested in Tesla energy, specifically in the solar division, energy division, not with the cars yet. And I set them up. I basically design a plan for them of how a system will be optimized for their home. A lot of people are interested in going off the grid. A lot of people love the Tesla tiles, the Powerwall panels. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis right there.
That's good stuff. So it was one of your old swim teammates.
Yes.
Very cool. And you guys stayed in touch, and because he was on the inside, he was able to get you in, right? In a way.
Yeah.
Or he introed you, and then you had to kill the interview and all that, right?
Yeah. One tip, I guess, for the interview process: if someone's already in the company, he kind of will know the interview questions already, so he'll kind of pass them on. He gave me like a Google Doc for them. I don't know if I should be disclosing this, but
It's okay.
yeah,
Other people do that type of thing. Don't worry.
So I guess a tip of advice is like if you have somebody who got you in, ask them what they were asked, because a lot of times they'll just ask the exact same questions. If you're prepared, you'll do so much better than if you get a question and you freeze like a deer in headlights. Like especially technical questions are tough.
Yeah, I interviewed remotely for a drone startup in Silicon Valley 3 years ago, and they burned me with technical questions, and I was just like, oh. But yeah, you're always in the people business, 1% Nation. Unless you know someone at a company, it's not going to work out. Now you're just a name on a resume and some pile of resumes. And imagine how many resumes companies like Tesla get every day. It's not going to work. Plus, I've heard on Glassdoor, they reported this, 80% of positions with companies don't even go on the internet. They don't even go public. So unless you have that friend on the inside, unless you're always garnering and building that network of yours, you're not going to get that dream job. You're not going to end up at Tesla. You're not going to end up at SpaceX. So learn from John. Keep in touch with everyone that you know, and you just never know. You have to have somebody on the inside, so that's awesome. So I'd love to hear, just going off the Tesla topic, because this is just so awesome. I'm so proud of you and happy for you, John. But can you tell us what maybe the Tesla work culture is like and how it's been going so far? You've been there for a month. You kind of got the vibes. Can you speak to that for a little?
Yeah, it's fast paced. It's nothing that like no one has already told you can look up. It's just fast paced. People either love it or hate it, and it's a high turnover rate. People will come and go a lot, and I've heard stories. My colleagues told me, he's like, yeah, this guy doesn't work here anymore. Um, so because the hours are hard. I can't imagine engineering when I get there eventually, but I heard it's like 60 hours a week, which is like crazy, and it's hard work.
Yeah,
It's not easy making a car drive itself, or yeah, stuff like that.
that's right. But you're handling it right. Like you think you're putting in the time and you like it. Like you're
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's good stuff because I can tell you this for sure. If you got to roll with a startup in Silicon Valley, 60 isn't even an acceptable minimum. Those guys are doing 80. I'm sure you've heard videos of Elon himself talking about doing 100 as a baseline, right?
80, 100, yep.
There's only 156 hours in a week, so 100 is crazy. But honestly, if you're trying to change the world and you love what you do, and you can bring that work-life integration to your reality, 16 hour days, it's all good. So
Yeah.
and I'm sorry I didn't announce about a few of the other things when I did your introduction, how you're a grader and how you have some experience working on some UX projects. Clearly, we've talked about the swim team, about how that is a highlight of yours as an extracurricular. I think there are a few engineers who are doing D1. It's got to be D1 swimming, right?
This is Division 3, what I'm in right now. Not Division 1. Division 1 is a lot like they want you to be all in the sport, not really. It's kind of hard to pursue your career interests,
right?
When, especially if you're on a scholarship, because if you don't perform, you get your scholarship taken away, and then some people drop because then they don't want to pay. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to pay. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But,
nice. So you have a full athletic scholarship, or no?
I do not.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Gives you more time to pursue everything engineering. So, and as you said, you can still fulfill the swimming passion. So, I'm sure it's got a good balance for you.
Yes, it is.
So, John, we've talked about you're a grader for an engineering class. Just brought that up briefly. Involved with some UX projects. Clearly, doing the Tesla while working for Tesla. Some kids, they manage to graduate with an engineering degree and have zero experience. I'm sure you can't even fathom that, but can you maybe tell us, 1% Nation, how your involvement beyond the swim connection, which is already a really good response to this, how your involvement with this other stuff, trying to be a standout 1% engineer, how it has maybe created other connections for you or opportunities that have presented itself. What we're talking about is all the extra stuff that normal people don't do, but you have. And superstar people do it, and it leads to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Maybe you can give us at least one example for yourself.
Right. So, I mean, just going back to the business, the grading position was just a small source of basic income in the quarter. I guess it really sharpened the attention to detail skills, and I guess it's always good to have working experience. For resumes, no one likes to see that you were just kind of exploiting your parents' money the entire college. So I guess having some work, even if it's just like you're just sitting down and just grading and just just working with a teacher to ask what's a good point distribution. It's just simple stuff like that is good. So going into the UX, I was responsible. We programmed this a lot of people are familiar with Slack, which is a the messaging. We our role was to program a bot for a consulting group. We were a software team. And then, what the bot was supposed to do is what I was responsible was for creating a user interface that the bot would engage people, but it wouldn't be annoying. So I had to kind of work with this, and it was front end JavaScript developing, I believe, was what I did. Was what we worked with. A great team. The reason why I did this is because I had little to no programming experience before, so I kind of needed to force myself to get a little bit better at this. So I did this. I threw myself in the deep end, forced myself to learn and adapt pretty quickly. And the result is that the struggles that I can talk about here are, having to learn something from basically nothing is a good point to talk about when you're getting interviewed by people. People love to see when you struggled and how you overcame those struggles, I think.
100%. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Feeling a little bit, pushing yourself, growth mindset. You don't always want to be in an ecosystem where you know everything and it's easy. That gets boring, you know? So the struggle is where it is. And one other quick question, John. You talked about programming with Java. Do you utilize that right now? Maybe not, but with at Tesla?
No, not as much. No, we don't. I don't do any programming yet.
Right.
It's all the software that they provide me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just basic. It's nothing like too extraordinary.
But I would imagine that merger of electrical engineering and coding ability, and I know electrical engineers take a lot of coding type classes, but you having additional programming experience is certainly a highlight for you. I'm sure it's been given some recognition.
Yeah, I'm just trying to diversify myself. I read that like I'm more keen to like being kind of like pretty good at multiple categories and being an expert in one. Like in my free time I do some CAD designs. Just just why not? Like I'll design a rim for a car or something basic like that. Like just it's fun. It gets you experience, and I can put it in my resume. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the more skills you have, the better. And over time, because you're young, John, you're still figuring out your expertise. But typically, what will happen is you'll have that broad spectrum. They call it the T, and you'll have that broad base of a T. And then over time, what will happen is you will become an expert in one or two of those niches, and that expertise just goes deeper and deeper. But you have to find that. You have to figure out where that is for you. And there's no real way you can find that until you're out into the professional world and you're given the opportunity for that T stem to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So for you right now to have that base and to have touching aspects of lots of expertise while you're still on your road to graduation is totally the right attitude. So I'm really happy to hear that. Plus, I think you don't know what you don't like, you don't know what you like until you know what you don't like. So being involved with CAD and programming and all types of other stuff is a good way to figure out what's right for you leading forward. So you're doing that to a T. So you're killing it, John, right here. This is 1% status here today. So those are the 5 main questions. I have a little lightning round set up for you. So it's
awesome.
kind of like faster. We call it the 1% round. So a little bit faster. Are you ready for the 1% round, John?
I am, yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Great. Okay, John. So question number 1. What is one personal habit that contributes to your success?
Persistence.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Never give up?
Never giving up, yeah.
Determination? Never give up, 1% nation. Giving up is for the birds. So, John, if you could talk about one mistake as a student, as an engineer, that you have made on your road to today, along your journey, that some of these engineers can learn from, what would that be?
My first 2 years, I wasn't too committed to any engineering organizations. The ones like I did FSAE, but for like month or something. It wasn't that like I just stopped after that, which coming from a car guy, that's kind of disappointing for me to hear. But anyways, that was the biggest thing. So I guess for any freshmen coming into their engineering, get involved like immediately. Specific with orgs, you can join fraternities and stuff like that. But I feel like engineering orgs are more beneficial if you're really looking for a career advancement. So yeah, join something, and try to get a leadership position, like president, even treasurer of that. Will make you stand out in an application.
Okay, John. So I read a lot of books. As you can see behind me, that's kind of the point of this bookshelf.
I see my favorite book right there, right behind you.
Is it? The Book of Habit?
No.
Which one? Elon Musk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that. Okay, I bought that book about a year ago and then started reading it. And then when Elon was all over the news about, Trump's board and everything, I was like, I need to read this book so I have an even better understanding of this man and his road. And it is a great book. I'm sure you've read it and loved it. So I'm not going to allow you to answer with that one. So besides Ashley Vance's Elon Musk, if you could recommend one book to 1% Nation, what would that be and why?
So, if any of you are interested in the whole startup game, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, who, yeah, I'm pretty sure have you read it too?
No, it's on my list, and I know about him, and it's a great book, I know.
Yes, co-founder of PayPal, great guy, very smart guy, and he just talks about how, like, basically, I don't want to spoil it, but how 0 to 1 is basically how startups form. They form new things that haven't been done before. That's the most I'm going to say about it. Great read. Reading it right now, about 3/4 of the way through it, and I'm loving it. So, yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, Elon Musk was also the highest shareholder in PayPal when it sold to eBay for what I think was $1.5 billion.
Yep. 5 billion.
How much was it?
1.5 billion.
1.5. Yep. Insane. I think he walked away. I don't remember what his take. I think it was 300 some million, and he started Solar City with his two cousins, I believe, Tesla and SpaceX, like in the same year.
Yep.
And everyone told him he was crazy. So yeah, great book, great suggestion. Okay, John, what is the best advice you have ever received?
Best advice I ever received was never change who you are for others and stay true to your own values.
I love these. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, just stay true to yourself. Don't let other people change you, I guess.
Be you, 1% Nation. Don't try to cater yourself to others. Find your path. Figure out who you are evolving to be, and stay the course. Don't worry about anything else outside of that.
Yeah.
And John, I'm sure you could take this in many directions, so you get to choose the one for you. But what's one thing, one technology, one aspect of engineering and design, or something in the techie space that has you pumped up, that's going on right now, but has you pumped up for the future?
Yeah, definitely number one, reusable rocket technology. It's when I saw that Falcon 9 land in December for the first time, I went nuts. Thinking about it gives me chills. You know, it was just the thrill of it. Like I cannot imagine seeing that in person. Like that would be the opportunity of a lifetime, just to see that thing land in person. That'd be great. Yes, that's my number one technology that has me really pumped.
The footage of the rockets landing is freaking out of control, man. Like, I would love to see that in person. So here's a little bonus question for you, John. If you have an opportunity to go to Mars in your lifetime, will you go?
Will I go to Mars? As long as I know it's safe to go to as long as a good amount of people before me have already gone.
Yeah. Don't want to be on that first spaceship to Mars, guys.
No, I would not, because I would probably not come back.
It's probably pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
So, John, thank you so much for being on the 1% Engineer Show today. If you can give maybe one piece of closing wisdom to 1% Nation, and then also how they can stay in touch with your Tesla journey, how they can keep up with you. I know you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I know you're on Instagram.
Yes.
But if you have one piece of closing guidance and how we can stay in touch with you and your Tesla journey, let us know about that.
Yeah, so I've thought about this for a little bit, and it was just like, I know all of our lives are very hard, coursework's tough, along with like other things. You know, not 90% of life you can't control what happens in your life. The other 10% is how you pretty much deal with it. Because life is random sometimes. So I guess wake up every morning with a purpose and be excited for a goal you're striving for, because you're going to have tough times and life's unfair and it's going to knock you down, and having a goal kind of gets you up. I know it has for me, at least. But yeah, that's my closing advice, pretty much.
That's great. And how can 1% Nation stay in touch with you and maybe some electrical engineers who want to know what you're up to a year, 2, 4 from now, and follow the Tesla road? What's the best way to follow your journey, John?
I think Facebook message would be the best way.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I dig the Facebook message.
I'll put your profile information in the YouTube description, so check that out. Hit John up. So again, John, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate that. for that, we salute you, and we'll check you later, John.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Yeah, man.
Bye.
Hey, 1% Nation, I hope you enjoyed that interview with John Lupu. If you did, consider subscribing because I release videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays for young engineers so you can crush it in your career and become a 1% engineer. Cheers!